Hello. Welcome, everybody. It's been an amazing day already. I hope you're doing well. I am. And today, yeah, I know. We've just started a bit earlier than our usual time because our guest has to also meet another appointment. So please pardon us. Very nice to hear from you. But welcome everybody to Aviation Business Series. My name is Lady Vera, and I'm glad to have you. I'm so glad to have you. Today, we are talking about capacity, resilience for building development. There's so much going on in lives, in organizations, in businesses. And yeah, it comes to that point where you really need to be tough. You really need to maximize the potential in you. But how do you do this when you are not resilient? How do you do this when your capacity has not been expanded? So, to really delve deep into this particular topic, I am glad to introduce to you Patricia Nkwane. Patricia is joining us all the way from Botswana in Africa, yes. And we are so happy because Patricia is also an entrepreneur. She is a transformational speaker and a life coach. Patricia has been doing great things with women. She has a program called Women with Scars. It's doing amazing in Southern Africa. It's really helping a lot of women. She also has a program that she does with academic excellence with younger generation. So that is also very good. But today, because Patricia is a life coach, we want to really hear the aspects and the perspective from her. What does resilience mean? What does capacity mean? And together, I'm sure we can do better than what we have been doing. So stay with me, and I'll be back shortly. Welcome back. So we're bringing in Patricia, all right? Hello.
Hi.
Great. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm doing fine. How are you, ma'am?
I'm well. And sorry for the inconvenience, the technical issue.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. So how's Botswana?
Botswana is okay. Botswana is fine. We are well. Still hustling around the corona issue, but we are okay.
That's good. And talking about corona, I mean, your kind of business, I mean, you used to travel, you used to go to Zimbabwe and all other places, but with the travel restrictions, how are you coping? How are you coping as a business person?
Well, I think to start off with is we had like any other organization, we had a plan for the year. We heard our plan that has been put up, and this year I would say among some of the projects that we ran, we were to start up our tour, our Women with Scar tour, which was actually going to be taking place in different countries. We had recently started with Zimbabwe. We were in Zimbabwe, Bulawayo, and then we were in Harare, and we were to take it to other parts of Africa. But then with Corona happening, a lot of things changed. But I think the thing that worked best for us as an organization is understanding the fact that with us getting into lockdowns and this whole COVID-19 happening, we knew without doubt that after all this lockdown, there was no normal to return to. So we had to work on now building a new normal that was to work for the organization and to keep the organization going.
Wow, that is very deep because when things happened as difficult as COVID-19, it's not easy for us to accept it and move on. What is that thing that helps you to accept the situation and move on?
Your volume is a bit low, so I kept losing some of the things you say.
Okay, so let me try again. So I asked that with the COVID-19, for you, you've been able to accept the situation and you have actually strategized around it to move on. How have you done this?
First of all, it is about understanding the obstacle. And then after understanding the obstacle or the challenge that's at hand, learning to accept what has happened and also learning to find new ways and new means of moving forward. So basically, it was just more of, okay, fine, what is COVID-19? Where are we? Where are we going with all these? And then as an organization, as an entity, as a person, what do I need to do in order for me to keep going?
Mm, that's very deep. So I see that as a big issue when it comes to resilience and capacity. I see
Mhm.
that as a very key point when it comes to resilience and capacity. Tell me about how you were able to build it, knowing that, okay, I have accepted, I have worked around it. What are some of the pillars that you've been using to strengthen yourself?
Okay. I'll start off with capacity building. One thing that you have to note is that the whole base of capacity building is behind obtaining knowledge to effect change. So basically, what I can say is the more we know, is the more we can achieve. So without a new knowledge, in fact, of what is in the moment, then it becomes difficult for you to move forward. So basically, as an entrepreneur, as an agent of change, as a person that is striving to reach the summit of their destiny, you have to be at a point where you are always learning and growing in knowledge. And the more you grow in knowledge, the more you grow into, the more you have built that curiosity of what is happening at that moment, then it allows you to know what is and how to get out of it. And then when we come to resiliency now, resiliency on its own, they say is that ineffable quality that allows you to get up every time you've been knocked down. So
Mm,
resiliency is not something you learn overnight. And it's not something that you learn theoretically. You learn it with experience. And the more you can get up when you get knocked down, is the more you can get up any other time in any other situation. So basically, when you build the two, when you give yourself a chance to always be growing in knowledge, then it gives you that stability and that strength to always go forward, to always get up in every other challenge that might come.
I'm already fired up. It's going to be exciting because we just started and I can feel the vibe. Now there are people who are watching us who are just entrepreneurs. They are startups. Some are students, and
Letvera, I think your volume is a bit low.
is it better now?
It's a bit better.
Okay, so there are people watching us, okay, who are entrepreneurs, and some who are startups. Now, how do we begin to build this kind of resilience when we know that we are vulnerable, when we know that we have a weakness, when we know that there is something that is not good enough with us?
The question is, how are we able to build resilience when we know
we are vulnerable?
I keep losing you.
When we are vulnerable.
Okay, can you say that again, please?
Okay, so how do we build resilience and capacity when we know that we are vulnerable?
Okay. How do we build resilience and capacity? We build our capacity by obtaining the knowledge that is needed, by developing and strengthening ourselves as humanity in terms of knowledge. Like I said earlier on, the more we know is the more we can. It's just more like that whole cliche of saying, we perish because of lack of knowledge. So it's all about knowing. It's all about being curious to know. And as a startup, it is very, very important to be equipped with knowledge, because basically the more you get to know, that's the more you can achieve. So there is no other way besides obtaining the knowledge. And that's how you strengthen and build your capacity. And then when it comes to resilience, if you are capacitated as an individual, then basically by virtue of that, you become more of a resilient person. So resiliency on its own, I call it the law of resiliency. It's you decide within yourself. It's a decision that one has to always be challenges. But in every other challenge that I face, I'm going to go forward. And when you make that decision, it becomes easy to be knocked down and to keep moving.
Okay, sorry guys. So give us just a few seconds. I'm sure we can sort this out and be back, okay? Hello. Welcome to the Aviation Business Series. Aviation Business Series is an interactive platform for every aviation professional, for every aviation stakeholder, and for every business person that is connected to the hospitality sector. Have you considered having access to proven business solutions? Have you considered adding more expert knowledge to what you think you already know in the hospitality sector? What about hearing the other success stories to help you find your own unique story? Well, if all the above is checked and more, then Aviation Business Series is the right space to follow and interact. We will have a combination of journeys, expertise, and success areas that will complete our holistic growth. For more details about our specifics, check the About section of our Facebook page. Don't forget to like, to follow, and share. I'll see you soon. Stay safe, stay real, and remember, ignorance is not an option in life. Bye. Welcome back, everybody. So, we've started the conversation with our guest, Patricia, and I would like to welcome you again because we started a bit earlier than our usual time. So, we started just about 10 to 15 minutes before our usual 4. So, if you're now joining us, please don't worry. You can still join the conversation as we go along. So Patricia will be joining us back. We had a bit of issue with the volume and we will continue. But she had explained earlier what capacity and resilience is. And she really made a strong point when she made us understand that it is built on knowledge, meaning that without having enough knowledge, without having the relevant knowledge, building your capacity and resilience becomes difficult. So we are so glad that we are having her today. All right, Patricia, are you back? Guys, but we've had a bit of the conversation, and Patricia is back, so we'll continue. Okay. Okay. So hi, welcome back.
Yeah, now the volume is a bit louder. It's better.
So now you see, because I had a question on this kind of technology. Don't you miss having the physical touch with people? I would have just flown to Botswana and we would have done this. Don't you miss it?
And it would have turned out a whole lot different.
I tell you. Okay, so it's a new normal, but it's not an easy one, I guess.
We are
I'm saying that it's a new normal, but it's not easy. Yeah. So my question before you left.
It's not easy, but we are learning and adapting.
That's good. That's good. So the question before you left was that I might be an entrepreneur. I am a job seeker, and what do I do to develop myself, even though I am waiting for the big opportunity? What are some of the things I can do to develop my capacity and resilience whilst I wait for that big breakthrough?
As I've been talking about obtaining knowledge. One thing that I want for it to sink in us is that we expand our capacity by obtaining knowledge. And then one thing also as upcoming entrepreneurs, as startups that we have to note is that you don't wait for the big flashy opportunity to show up, but rather you take heed of the tiny little opportunities, because those tiny little opportunities are the ones that kickstart the bigger opportunity, that kick open the bigger opportunity that you're waiting for. But when you miss out on the tiny little opportunities, you might end up losing out on the bigger opportunity because you are all focused in one direction. But you know, they often say the bull by the horns. So basically, it's an issue of positioning. It's an issue of understanding where you are in the moment, and also obtaining the right information of where you are in the moment. And that is how you capacitate yourself. That is how you instill yourself and you ready yourself for the opportunities that are coming in your life.
That is super. Is there a part of you that you are able to get more knowledge when you travel? Do you add up to that kind of knowledge when you move out of your zone, maybe your home, to another place, to another country? Are you able to pick up some things from these countries that you go to? And do you do it consciously?
I think one thing that we have to note is that humanity, we differ in a lot of things. It's culture, it's our ways of doing things. We differ in a lot of things. So basically, just a travel from Botswana to South Africa, the atmosphere on its own is different. And basically, even the way of understanding things would differ in a moment, meaning that you are at a state of learning how to do things differently when you let yourself learn in a moment. So I think one of the things that I learned in my travels, in moving from one place to another, is to position myself at a state where I'm able to learn, where I become a student of life. I reach a place, I need to know how they do certain things and why they do certain things the way they do them. When I come back now to settle, I know I can take a little bit of what I learned in Harare, put up a little bit of what I learned in Rustenburg, put up a little bit of what I do in Botswana. And that is how you build the showstopper.
How long have you been a transformational speaker?
Professionally, I would say 2 years.
Okay. And what triggered that?
Yeah. I think I should start off by saying I've measured into computer sciences. Yeah, I've measured in computer sciences, but along my journey in computing, one of the things that I learned is that I'm more of a person that interacts with, more that listens, that wants to see the change in that person. And computing on it wasn't giving me that space. So basically, after my tertiary, I worked in finance, still wasn't finding that space of being me, that fulfillment that comes with knowing you've done something that is totally different. And I tried a bit with doing some motivational talks in schools and everything. That is how I got to the realization that basically I'm more fulfilled and more happier and more at purpose when I'm actually serving as a transformational speaker.
Wow. So try to help me out with the difference between a motivational speaker and a transformational speaker. What is the difference?
Okay, here is the difference. A motivational, a motivational speaker, we are all, everybody can be a motivational speaker. A motivational speaker, this is where I come in your space and I tell you, Lady V, you can do this. You can become it. You have what it takes. You can become it. Yeah, for a moment you are all choked up. You know, I can do this. I can be it. I can do this. 2 days down the line, maybe I can. 3 days, what if I can't? 4 days down the line, you've given up on it. But then with transformational speaking, I come in your space and I make it a mandate to hold you by the hand all the way to your light. So
Wow.
basically, it's not about me saying, get up and do it, you can do it. But it's about me coming in your space and saying, I've walked the walk before. And I've seen the light, and I'm here to take you to the light I've seen before.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That is more in depth than, I mean, motivating me, and 5 days later I'm back to zero. But if every day you are going to be checking up on me, if every day you are going to send me some articles to read, some checklists and things like that, that's a lot of work. But you are fulfilled, right?
Yeah, the good thing about being a motivational speaker is I don't necessarily have to be looking for you where you are, but rather I'm always looking for means to reach out to you. So basically, you might think, okay, fine, I do one-on-ones, yeah, that's it. And then all of a sudden, you are thinking, what if I do events? That's it. Okay, fine. What if I go on TV, start up a TV talk show so I could reach out to these women? Oh, that's it. What if I come up with an article so I could reach out to these people? Basically, you might find that the message I'm communicating is actually the same thing, but done in different medias, because the idea is to reach out to you and to help you see it in all the different angles of you noticing it.
Wow. It's very interesting to know that, because sometimes you really need a helping hand, especially when you feel vulnerable. You feel you don't know it enough.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And yes, you are ready to learn,
Mm-hmm.
but to get the right people to help you out.
Mm. We all need to be surrounded by people. Basically, there is a level of knowledge that I can. There is a level of light that somebody else carries. That if they come in my space, I'm able to see things at their own level of sight that is different from mine. So in terms of being vulnerable, in terms of being empty at one point, one of the things that you realize is that at times the voids we carry within are the voids that are voids of purpose. voice that can only be fulfilled if only we are to find self and run in the midst of who we came to be. And it will take another person to come in your space and actually share that light. Like if I can give you a typical
Yeah.
example, I actually never knew one can actually make a living by just being a speaker. At first, I knew that. I just thought, okay, we have people that come, in schools, they'll come stand before you and they'll just motivate you. And then around my tertiary time, I met this gentleman, Dr. John DiMartini. He had come all the way from America to come and address us. John DiMartini, you would know him from the book The Secret. He's part of the Secret, the people in the book The Secret. So we sat there and I listened to John DiMartini, and where you listen and then there is that spark of light, and all of a sudden you are all eyes popping and looking and thinking, wow. And I asked him to say, we had that moment where you can now go to him and have some one-on-one chats with him. I asked him exactly what you do. He told me, this is what I do. I'm a speaker. Like, besides speaking, what else do you do? Okay, I do write articles, but my job is to be a speaker. So you get paid for speaking? He's like, yes. I'm like, the story you just told us, it's a story I can tell, and actually tell even better if I'm to tell it to my people, because I understand the kind of situations we go through in Africa. So you mean if I can rise up to that, I can get paid for talking? And you think of it, had I not come across that situation where there is somebody that is coming and bringing a different light to my space, I would have always carried a voice that says to me, you can do something different, you can be something different, but never pursued being something different because I never actually maybe knew about it. And this is where vulnerability comes in, because like Miles Monroe puts it, he says, where purpose is known, abuse is inevitable. Where purpose is not known, then basically you fall for what's there in the table. When you don't have a drive, a direction of your life, any other person that comes in your space, they give direction to your life. But then the purpose that you live to fulfill is what brings direction into your life. And that, by virtue of it, it began to breed the direction of where to take the Patricia life now. And that is where my fulfillment came in. And that is what we all need. We all need to be in a space where we are surrounded by people that bring light into our life and into our direction.
Wow, this is very, very profound, because I can so relate it to a lot of industry professionals that have done a particular type of job. So maybe the person started as a ticketing staff, until they meet another person that has been through that journey and transformed. They feel that that is the only thing you can do. Now, I don't say that it is bad doing what you do now, but if you don't see, you don't even know that something else exists.
Yeah. And it goes back to what you said about traveling. I think for me, traveling has been quite a profound teacher for me, because the moment I leave, I reach into other people. It helps me to see things from a different perspective. It helps me to see the other things that I never actually noticed or noted I could see. Because you reach up into a platform where people are talking about certain different things, and you're thinking, oh, I can add that to my business. People are talking about certain other, and sometimes it's not even about people that are into the same line of purpose as you. Sometimes it's even about, it's also about just a customer. I've been to places where a client comes and gives me a question, and I'm like, wow, that on its own is just a program. How about I go sit down and map it out? And you realize by coming back and sitting down, you map it out, all of a sudden you realize there is a demand for this. There are so many people that actually need this.
Very, very well said. But Patricia, as Africans, we normally go on holidays once a while. What is your perspective of that? Should we really make it a conscious effort to put travel in our diary, in our schedule for the year? I mean, you as a life coach, do you advise we do that to clear our head?
You know what? It's an issue of the haves and the have-nots. If you can afford it, let it be in your schedule. Because as much as it is, it's not about the money that you're going to spend, but it's about the light you're going to get at the end of it. And in my growing up, I learned something very profound. If you can't travel from here to South Africa on a bus, you can travel on a book. So basically, if again finances doesn't allow you to get on a flight and fly to Dubai, how about you learn Dubai? How about you find out what people in Dubai are doing? I've heard mentors in my life that I've never met. I don't know, for so many years, I've been mentored in a very profound way by Lisa Nichols, and I've never met her. But I give myself that mandate to learn what Lisa does, how she does it, how she travels, how she does her things, the way she plans for her things. Because in me learning, unconsciously, I'm preparing for my meeting with her. And in my preparing for my meeting with her, I'm also getting the knowledge that I need. So basically, it's not about you having to put up some funds and getting yourself into credit so that you leave the country. But it's about you being conscious in your mindset that life is not about the four corners of Ghana. It's not even about the four corners of Zimbabwe. There is more to life than just being in your hometown. There's another place, and there are other people that are doing things differently from the way you do things in your hometown. And if they're attaining certain results, then basically, if you can learn how they do their things, then you can attain the same results as them.
This is super. I hope everybody's listening to us where we know that it is about us, the individual, what you can do and how to make it happen. I'm so glad we are having you today. But I know you didn't start knowing all this from scratch. How did you start? How did you begin to build yourself, knowing that you had a challenge before? And you are free to talk about the challenge.
I think some of us, I would start off by saying, unfortunately, some of us, we've never had our motivation come to us all wrapped up into fleshy papers, but rather in more of sandpapers where you learn to fall on your dip and all of a sudden you are down and out. And you start learning to fall and to get up. And you make a decision to say, I'm never going to come to this place again. I'm saying this because if you've been following a bit of my life story, every now and then I mention on how my son at 3, I was found out to be dyslexic, basically meaning I couldn't read or write. At standard 3 words that can be written by a grade 1 child, I couldn't write them, I couldn't read them. And I remember at one point in time when the teacher called my auntie at that moment to tell her, to say, I can't read, I can't write. And concerning it's a concern because looking at my body size, there is no hope because I can never be a sport person. I can never be a modeler. And considering the fact that I'm lazy, she doesn't see much of a hope. And that on its own killed my esteem in a lot of ways. And then fast forwarding to years after that when I lost my parents, and then years after that when I dropped off out of school and I was home. I remember at this point day, particularly when I was home and I was with the baby. I was I was a teenage mother at that point in time. And on this particular day, the baby was crying nonstop. I tried everything that I could to get this baby to silence. I couldn't get him to quieten. And for a moment, a thought just crossed my mind where I had to think for a moment to say, Patricia, at this particular moment, you are unemployed. You are uneducated, out of school, statistic of teenage pregnancy, single mother at a very young age, a teenager, a single mother, living on government's basket, you are an orphan. Basically, you sum that up, it said to Patricia, Patricia, you are nothing. And at that very point in time, it hit hard. It hit so hard because decisions had to be made. I had to make decisions. And I thought at that moment, if ever I'm going to rise up from this, I'm going to find a name for myself. I had a quest. And one of the things that as startup, as entrepreneurs, we have to know is that the moment you can find your quest, that's the moment you can find your purpose, and that's the moment you can run in pursuit of your destiny. So I had to find my quest. I had to go on a quest. I made a decision. I'm going out to find a name. It wasn't about me going out to be popular, going out to be a rich girl, going out to be the girl that travels the world and all stuff, but it was about me trying to find something that doesn't say you are an orphan, that doesn't say you are living on government basket, that doesn't say you are a statistic of teenage pregnancy, that doesn't say, you know, you are a single mother at age 17 or stuff. I was about to find a name that I could actually look at my son and proudly say, your mom is this. Because for a moment I looked at him and I thought, if I'm nothing, what does it make him? And I wanted to be something so he also could learn to be something. So I pursued. And every day when I wake up, I'm all about pursuing a name. I'm all about pursuing a name. In my tradition, they often say a person has two names. Each individual has two names. The first name is the name that your parents gave you when you were born. The second name is what you create for yourself as you live. The Thomas Edison, he was Thomas Edison. Yes, his mom labeled him Thomas Edison, but now with the name he created for himself, he is known to be something bigger than just a Thomas Edison. And I had to find a name for myself. I decided, okay, I'm going to start up doing something. I've been told you can never read or write. Why don't I go out and give it my best, see if I can't be this? I've been told you're always going to amount to nothing. Why don't I go out and give it a try and see if I can be something bigger than who I thought I'd be? And believe me, had they not told me that I can never read or write, I would have never gone out to find this genius called me. Had they not told me how fat and ugly I am, I would have never gone out to find this beautiful individual called me. Had they never told me that you are going to amount to nothing, I would have never gone out to seek a name in the first place. And I had to go in pursuit. And in my pursuit, that is where I learned the resiliency in me. Most people that know me, they call me the unstoppable PN, because the day I made a decision to say I'm going out, that's the day I made a decision to say between me and the summit of my destiny, there is nothing that has the power to stop me. And sometimes it's about you deciding and speaking a word. That's what it takes for you to actually go out and take it. The problem is most of us are actually afraid to speak a word because there have been so many words that has been spoken. So we feel we rather believe the words that has been spoken than go out and speak a different word. But there's nothing wrong than speaking a different word over your life, because what you speak is what you follow.
I just need a minute to absorb everything. It is that powerful when it's not from a book. It is that powerful when you know that you understand every word that you are saying because you have been there. And
Yeah.
you are it's not like you have even arrived, you are still pushing. And I see you doing that. I see you speaking every morning. I see you posting and you're saying that I can do this. I am unstoppable. Your article says it. Your speech, whenever you come on Facebook or you're doing a program, you speak the word. This is super. This is a point we have to learn. And we can't stop. We can't
Yeah.
stop. We can't stop. Now, in your pursuit to do better, you have mentors. Do you also have friends who are also trying to do better? And does it have an impact in what you're doing? Do you have colleagues or friends?
Earlier on, I mentioned that in every journey, you need to be surrounded. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. There is a power that comes in association. The moment you surround yourself with people that are heading the same direction with you, not only does it strengthen you, but it gives you the zeal to keep on fighting. A lion alone is not as powerful as the lions coming into a pride. So basically, we need to be surrounded. And same applies to my life. I have mentors, yes. I have mentors that I could go to say, okay, this is what I'm thinking of doing. And I've also people that I call friends, that are in my circle, that are doing something that every now and then I can call on them to say, okay, Kibi, I heard you were doing this and this and this. In you doing that, how did it turn out? I have people, the Tabishos, that I can say, okay, fine, Tabisho. Now I think we need to sit down and talk about this thing. Because the moment we sit down and talk about it, it's not just about my thought and where I want to go, but it's about my thought, the industry at large, and the other people's perspective coming into picture. And not only other people's perspective, people that are going the same direction as I. And that is how we build the power through it all. Because when the moment we come in agreement together, you learn now to believe not only in the Patricia that I know, but also to believe in something bigger than just the Patricia that I know. In days when I lose strength, a girl will just say, girl, you can do this, just keep going. The moment I feel like, no, this time around, it's not working, somebody else will say, girl, you've done this before. Get up and do it. When I go quiet, I know there's somebody that can call me and say, you've been quiet for a long time. What's happening? Somebody will call to say, I haven't seen your article this weekend. What was happening? And that is what helps me to keep pushing.
Thank you for that. A lot of women have been told that we are our own enemies, but the story is changing. I mean, I think this particular year and a couple of years now, we have come to realize that we can support each other as women, and even as people, we can support if we decide to do it. It really doesn't take too much, but it takes a clean heart and a clear mind to say, I would support and I would help. And I will actually pray for the person.
True. Yeah.
I have really enjoyed
There,
our
there's more power. There is just so much power that is born when women come together and stand under one agreement, under one purpose. There is just so much power when we stand together, not against one another. Because one of the things that you understand about women is that when we talk to birth. And when those ideas to birth come together, not against one another, not pulling down on one another, but to push up and to support one another, there's just so much power that is created in that moment.
Mm, 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 mm. I know your time is up. You have another meeting after this. So I will take a few questions from our audience. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I've not said hi. Hello. So hello to Selena. Hello to Treasure. Hello to Lizzie. Hello to Ima. Hello, everybody. Please bring in your questions. So she has to leave. So please let it be fast. Let's have your questions and be able to answer them. Okay. Hello to everybody. Let's have your questions and be able to address them. Okay. Wow. Powerful. Powerful. Okay. So as we wait, let me ask you two more. Okay. Now you took the strength from your individual challenge and you made it in such a way that it plays out in your career. So the strength of being maybe a teenage mother, you pulled that strength and you used it to become a life coach. How do you
Mm.
take a raw strength, the raw strength of motherhood, the unpolished strength of being a woman, the raw strength of being just somebody, and transforming it into a career strength or a professional strength? How do you do that?
You know, one of the things that I've learned from a very young age is that I remember that was in my primary days. I would come from school crying about how teachers and other students would be teasing me of how stupid I am and stuff. And one of the days I was playing with a catapult, busy playing with a catapult. And my grandmother said something very profound. She said, you know, if you want to throw it high and very far away, you ought to pull it down and pull it behind and then release. That is how the stone will go up and far. It didn't make any sense then until the time when I was mature enough, where I was actually trying to pursue something in life. That's when I realized, you know, every now and then life has a way of playing its way. We get disappointed, we stumble, we get all these challenges happening. But it's not about how low you have fallen. It's about understanding when to release. You might be pulled back by life, you might be pulled down by life, but it's all about knowing exactly the right moment
The
to
time.
release. Because within that pain, there is purpose. I always tell the women that I meet in the Women with Scars to say, there is your pain is within your pain. Because it comes to a moment where you now stop looking and focusing in the pain and start finding ways to bring up a pay from the pain. Every now and then I talk about how I've been started down and coach thousands of young girls in a year in terms of the issues that are related with teenage pregnancy, that are related with all these issues. I sit down with women every now and then that are going through single parenting, divorces, all sort of things. And in me talking to them, I'm talking to them from an understanding of pain because I've been through where they are right now. And that is how I found my purpose. And basically, you understand that if you focus in the pain, but the moment you start to consider what has happened and what you can take or learn from what has happened, you realize that there is a lot of things that you can learn that can direct you into the summit of your destiny from all that. And that is where releasing now comes in, where you make a decision to say, I've been pulled down, I've been pulled back, but now it's time for me to let go and see how high and how far I can go.
Patricia, now, okay, okay, I
Hi.
thought I lost you. So now, when you come to that understanding that, okay, I can do better than what others have told me, do you have to actually do it for everybody, or you can do it for yourself and just be in your corner and enjoy? Why do you want to do it for other people? Why do you feel like you need to also help other people? Okay, so just a few minutes, seconds. Okay, so I think that's it. We are not getting through to her. Okay. Okay. Is it better? Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, it's okay now.
Okay. So I don't want to lose you again. So I'll take your final words and allow you to go. So I don't lose you. I need to hear those final words.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't want to lose you now.
Don't we have any questions that I can take one more question from the audience before I head out?
So far,
You don't have any questions?
no, I don't. I don't.
Okay, then I could go ahead with one of it.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. I think just to wrap up, we've had quite a good discussion. Just that IT just has its own way. Technology has its own way of playing out. But it's the new normal. We are adapting. We are learning, we are adapting. Before you know it, we'll be expert at this thing. I think one of the things that I've been emphasizing for a while now in Africa, that I think we have to take note of as the generation that is carrying the leadership of Africa right now, is to understand that the world is not going to give you permission to become the best version of yourself. So you ought to get out there and take it. You have to make a decision. You have to decide within yourself that you are going out and you are going out to become the biggest and the greatest and the best version of yourself. We waited. Believe me, we all waited. We waited for funds to start companies. We waited for somebody to come bail us out. We waited. But now it's not about waiting anymore. It's about going out there and becoming either way. It's about going out there and sweating for it either way. It's about going out there and deciding to become with or without. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the resources. What do I say when I say it's not about the resources you have in a moment? Let me give you a typical scenario. Right now, your Botswana, your South Africa, in the world, we are the producers of diamonds. The best sold diamonds in the world are from Africa.
Yeah.
But had it been about resources, we should be a developing continent, a developed, in fact, continent. But comparing to the United States and everything, we are far. So basically, it's not about the resources, but it's about a decision. It's not even about numbers. It's not about how many people you are working with, you are going with to becoming that. Had it been about numbers, you talk about your Nigeria, they're highly populated. But you talk about countries like UK, your America, your what, they are thriving and they are doing so good at it. So basically, it's not about numbers. It's about a person that's able to stand to a vision and to decide to become either way, to go out there and obtain their pursuit and run after it, you know, with a decided mind that stays, I'm not going to stop. We've been down and out, but we are pursuing something right now. And we've reached a level where we don't let the past define our path. And before I just say this, let me make this clear. I'm not where I am despite what I've been through. I'm where I am today, and I've learned to take what I've been through, to use it as my advantage of rising, to use it not as my fortress, but as my fuel in becoming. So basically, what are you going through right now? That's the question you should be asking. And how do I seize the moment? How do I let what I'm going through right now fuel me into who I want to be? And then go out there and obtain it. Go out there and become it. Go out there and be a force to reckon with or without the world's permission, because the world is not going to give you that permission. You decide. I decided years back that I'm going to be unstoppable. I had all these other titles, living on government basket, orphaned, dyslexic, school dropout, teenage pregnancy, single mother at a very young age. I had all these titles, but when I decided I'm going out to pursue something, and I'm not going to ask for permission. Today, when you talk about Patricia, they'll tell you she's a transformational speaker, she's a life coach, she's a TV talk show presenter, she's a columnist, she's both university brand ambassador, she's all these things because she decided she's going to pursue. Question is, what's your quest? What is it that you are thriving to become? Because as soon as you decide to go on your quest, nothing on earth or below has a power to stop a decided mind. Make up your mind and go after it. The day you decide to go after it, then you've gained the power and the resiliency and the capacity to obtain it. And the power is all in your hands. It doesn't take somebody else, but it takes you. And the good thing about being transformational speakers and being motivational speakers is the fact that we know what we are bringing to you are the things that you know. The only difference is you are letting those tiny little chatters within you that says you can't be it, keep you from being it. And today I'm saying, let's silence those chatters. Let's go out there and see if we can become something bigger than ourselves.
Wow.
Because when you decide, you can be just anything. Well, yes. Thank you so much.
Amazing time. Thank you so much, Patricia. We have to do this once more. So don't be surprised when I'm calling you again.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll let you
I think
go
next
now.
time it will rather be a bit earlier. Yes, next time we'll make it rather a bit earlier so that also I could know how to work out around my time.
Sure. We'll do
I
that.
can.
Sure. See you. Wow, awesome, awesome, awesome. I still have you with me, and I'm so glad that you stayed with me. Our discussion today has really taken us through a lot, physically, spiritual, emotion, social. I think we have learned a lot. And one of the powerful statements that I am taking, I don't know what you're taking, but one of the powerful statements that I am taking is what is on the screen that says that the time to go out and become. It's not about the resources that you have only, but be determined to do it and decide to develop and pursue it. Thank you so much, Patricia. And thank you to all my guests, my viewers for today. Thank you so much. I would see you next week. And next week, I am having a special guest again. Yes, she is going to talk about exploring. And when it comes to the aviation industry, you really do better when you know what is out there, when it's coming into your space and you know what you can offer people because you have seen, you have experienced beyond your own culture. So please join me next week, same time, 1600, Facebook Live, and we'll do this together. From all of us at the Aviation Business Series, we say thank you and have a good evening. Bye.